Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the SYMA X5HW. This is a drone which includes a Wi-Fi camera module on board, which allows you to still see what the drone is seeing when you have the app installed on an Android or an iOS smartphone. It sells on Amazon for about $70, which makes it a fairly affordable drone. And the company SYMA is a pretty good manufacturer of these low-cost drones that we've seen before. This version here is fairly attractive, come in a few color schemes as well, and you can see the packaging here. In terms of feature set, it is pretty easy to maneuver, although it takes a little time to get used to for first-time flyers. It includes protectors for the actual propellers, a few replacement parts. There are accelerometers on board and gyroscopes, which allows the drone to stabilize itself a bit more easily. Not as large as a professional drone, but a decent-sized version, I'd say. Includes LED lights, so you can still see it when you're using it at night in the dark. And there's also, again, 2.4G in terms of connectivity frequency when you're using it with the bundled remote control. There's also a hover function, which is pretty cool, and again it uses an HD camera to capture both video as well as photos, which you can control from the app. There's this app on the side here which you can scan on through the QR code to learn more information, and this is a bit more technical data in terms of what is included, the size. The length is 330 millimeters, the width is also 330 millimeters, so it's a boxy kind of design going on there. The back features a bit more info, and this is what the controller looks like when you have the phone attached. It also includes a small LED part for indicating status as well as power. So here is the what's included in the box. There's an instruction manual that's pretty well documented, tells you how to set things up as well as install the application. You can also control things directly from the phone if you want to go that route. There's also access to spare propellers in case something gets damaged or bent, as well as a screwdriver for removing the screws on the back of the remote for installing batteries, which are not included. Uses AA batteries, and there's also a charging USB port, which you need to use to charge the battery on the drone. Takes about 20 to 30 minutes to completely charge that battery, and then you can get up to 7 minutes of continuous flying with this drone's battery performance. Pretty standard connector as far as parts are concerned, and that's basically it. So I'll take a closer look at the design of the drone next. So here we have the drone as well as the controller. So let's take a close look at the controller first. Again, we have the company's logo on the side there, as well as adjustments for the overall direction, as well as acceleration in a certain direction. And one thing I don't really love about this controller, despite being really well crafted out of a polycarbonate plastic shell, is that these nibs are very sharp. You can see there isn't a rubber cover or a tip that protects it, so when you're using your fingers, it really bites into the flesh. And that's something that I wish could be improved slightly in terms of comfort when you're using this over longer periods of time. There's also access to dedicated power switches for adjustments in terms of calibration. If it's a little bit slanted towards the left or towards the right, you can easily adjust that, as well as a screen down below for the connectivity, the range, and then these buttons here are just for decorative purposes. They actually don't do anything. The top here is where the smartphone clamps on. It's fairly strong, features a rubber feet that prevents the smartphone from getting damaged when it's actually in place, and it holds up to 5.5-inch phablets just fine. There's also shoulder keys as well for other minor adjustments in terms of the flight direction. The back features the batteries, and that's basically it. So a pretty clean presentation and easy to use remote. This is what the battery looks like. Pretty standard cell battery, lithium ion battery, which can be replaced pretty easily if you want to purchase a few more and extend the flying time and charge them all up. When you go outdoors, that's fine. And this is more of an outdoor drone than an indoor drone, just because the size is slightly on the medium to larger size of the spectrum. So this is what it looks like. Something I'm going to quickly note is that this drone does not come fully assembled. So in terms of the propellers, in terms of the guards on the sides, as well as the feet on the bottom here for landing a bit more safely, and the Wi-Fi camera, which we'll talk about in a second, it's all detached. So when you first take it out of the box, you have to then assemble it. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to complete that process, and that's why you need that screwdriver. Otherwise, you can see here you have a pretty clean presentation. It's made out of this hollow plastic just to ensure that battery and flight performance can last you a bit longer, so it doesn't weigh too much. And all the parts feel pretty comfortable as far as the build quality here, so decent construction nonetheless. And the side here features a compartment for inserting that battery, pretty standard, as well as the Wi-Fi camera, which can be removed if you want a longer flight time, since that Wi-Fi camera is going to drain the battery a bit faster. To finish the pairing, just like the SpaceGate drones we recently reviewed, we just press this lever down and up again, and the flashing stops. So it's going to automatically calibrate the gyroscope so it knows its orientation, and we can now fly it facing the drone. So down below here, this is the LCD display, which tells us the reception strength, which is quite strong right now, as well as the drone is ready, it's on the floor, a bit of information about the propellers on either sides. So if we do a quick test here, Alright, so that's just a quick, very brief sample of what the flying experience, as well as the sounds that you might hear from flying this drone. And really, it's pretty easy to get started with it. It's not as flexible and not as great for first-time flyers as perhaps smaller micro drones, which are a bit more easy to control. This seems to have sometimes a little 1-second delay if you're trying to turn directions, as well as maneuver it in midair, just because it's a larger kind of aircraft. But otherwise, it is pretty easy to start up, and it's fairly responsive. Obviously, the company that's behind this, SYMA, SYMA, as well as the model number they produce here, is quite popular, so there's going to be a lot of test footage out there that you can look up if you're looking for more outdoor performance, and we're going to be posting some more videos, just flying videos, online as well, so that's coming up shortly. But for now, this has just been our quick video first look and quick review here at OS Reviews. You can check out more details on our official written review coming out soon, but again, this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.